Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, welcome back to SGTV's Premium Sports Show. I'm Calvin DeLude, and I'll be joined by Zander Collins, Jalen Long, and Austin McConnell. We have a lot of great sports to cover today, including South Carolina football, the dawn of a new NHL season, and the 2025 World Series champions. You don't want to miss this episode, so grab your tickets and join us in the student section. All right, let's kick this off by talking about our South Carolina Gamecocks. After a tough 30-14 defeat to the Ole Miss Rebels, the Gamecocks finally answered many fans' prayers and fired offensive coordinator Mike Shula. My question to you is, how do you think that will affect the offense in the last 3 games of the season, and do you think it'll be enough for the Gamecocks to sneak into a bowl game at the season's end?
Well, guys, I think that at the beginning of this season, we had very high hopes. And as we started to lose games, those hopes went down into the dirt. And people needed a scapegoat for this season, and that was very much so Mike Shula, not Don Shula. We need a DNA test because there's no way that they're related. But I don't think it's going to change anything drastically. The offense has been struggling. Regardless of play calls, you should be able to perform against teams that they played in the non-conference. So I don't really know what they can do, but I don't think anything will help that much.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a bye week, and so they've got 2 weeks to practice before taking on a very solid Texas A&M team. What I'm kind of just, I'm not trying to get my hopes up once more for this team this year and be like, oh, we're going to make a bowl game. I kind of just want to see Coach Furry kind of open the playbook, kind of something Shula didn't really do. Kind of let Lenoris air it out a little bit more. As a wide receiver coach, now turned offensive coordinator, I believe he can kind of get a little more creative with the route running from the wide receivers, instead of just running streaks 30 yards downfield or inside zone. I think that would kind of just open up a lot more opportunities to make some big plays, and who knows, maybe go into Aggie land and upset A&M.
I'll say the move is long overdue. But coming right now at the time that it is, they have the bye week, which allows them a little bit more time to prepare, get some of these new plays installed. My issue is there's a lot of young players on this offense, so it's like the change so late in the season, they're so used to Shula, and now you make this sudden change, and then you're going to go face a tough Aggies team. I don't really have much expectations. I think we'll still have the same issues. I mean, the plays may change. But the offensive line, I don't think that's something that he can change this late in the season. So I wouldn't have too high hopes, but we'll see what happens.
Well, even if we do see an upbring of success in this final lap, the 2025 season is one Gamecock fans would love to forget. And so would some Gamecock players. We've already seen some decommits and rumors of transfers, but I think the situation looming over everyone's mind is the status of Lenoris Sellers. Do you guys think he'll stay another year, or is he going to the NFL?
I think he has to stay another year of college. I feel like if Lenoris were to declare for the draft, he's looking at a similar stock of someone like Jalen Milroe. Though he has these crazy physical talents, he's got a long ways to go as a passer. His development as a passer was just so messed up this season because of bad offensive line play. I feel like, you just look at it, it could be another Anthony Richardson situation. And I think NFL teams are scared about that. I think he has to stay another year, improve as a passer. He does something like that, I could see him being a top 5 pick.
Yeah, in a sense, I'm going to play devil's advocate with you a little bit, but I agree with a lot of your points. I think if he does go to the draft next year, he has a lot of great tape already. I think a lot of scouts will be happy to see them join their team, but kind of like you said, kind of went from maybe being a starting quarterback on a team that's kind of rebuilding in the NFL right now to now kind of maybe backing up somebody and being maybe more of a 3rd or 4th round pick. So I do agree with you. I think he still could be a very, top 5, top 6 taken quarterback in the draft. But honestly, if I'm Lenoris, he's making, $6 million in NIL here in Gamecock country. I think even if he stays here or goes somewhere else, he can make millions probably anywhere. So honestly, financially, and instead of taking a major pay cut and going in the 3rd or 4th round versus the 1st or 2nd like he was planned to, maybe stay an extra year in college, like you said, Jalen?
I think staying is very risky for him, not only for his physical well-being behind that line, but also because we've seen players like Cade Klubnik and Drew Aller have their stock plummet after staying another year when they were projected first-round picks. I think he could definitely go to the NFL and contribute something. I mean, like you said, we've seen the tape. We have a decent sample size of Lenora Sellers, and the money is something I didn't think about because of NIL, but the college money is definitely more lucrative than it is in the NFL for him at this point after his slide from, a lot of people were saying early first round and now kind of in that second, third round area. So I think also another point that I wanted to bring up is that when he is a project player like someone like Anthony Richardson, do NFL teams want him to come in a little earlier so he has time to learn their system and learn stuff like that? I think it's a difficult decision. I'm leaning going to the NFL. I know it's every player's dream to go to the NFL. The money will come at some point, especially if you are as good as you think you are. So I would say, if I were him, I would go to the NFL. But, to your point?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off
No,
there,
you're
but
good.
I wanted to kind of just touch on, like, in these final 3 games, I kind of want to watch his body language. If he's kind of just shuffling his feet off the field after an interception or turnover on downs or 3 and out like we've seen a lot this year, like, if he's kind of just dragging his feet, then it's kind of going to feel like, all right, he's either transferring or he's going to try and get a league, whatever, but it's not going to be here in Columbia. But if he's, dapping guys up and giving them high fives and stuff like that, and he's having fun in these final 3 weeks, regardless of how atrocious his O-line is, I mean, who knows? Maybe Gamecock supporters will chip into the fund and pay him some extra money, and maybe he stays another year. But I'm with you. We saw it with Drew Aller this year, and you talk about the physical well-being. We see it all the time in senior quarterbacks and just seniors in general when they come back for their 4th year. Just, season-ending injury, and then you have 6, 7, 8 less games left to play, and it just hurts your stock. So I agree with all of your points you made, gentlemen.
That's something I low-key wanted to piggyback off of is just what you said about hoping that he's picking up his teammates and everything and that sort of thing, his body language. But I would say just like a consistent thing I've seen is that when things happen with the Gamecocks, I don't see Lenoris as much as I would like to go over there to the offensive line. All right, guys, we got to pick this up. And I think if you're going to be an NFL quarterback, you have to be a leader of men. We see a lot of NFL quarterbacks who aren't leading the team. They're very nonchalant, and I think that's something Lenoris could try to work upon these last 3 games to really help himself.
And we've seen the frustration on him, some of the close-up shots we've seen where he's getting up off the ground and he's yelling obscenities that I won't say. But, I mean, the question's got to be, if he stays, is it going to be here?
Right.
We've seen him turn down tens of millions of dollars, we presume, from, I think, Auburn, was it, or Ohio State, trying to poach him last season. If he does want to have a season where he can show what he does at the college level, I'm not sure this is the right environment for him to do, and that really pains me to say because he's been probably the best player I've seen since I've been here. But, I mean, like I said, that line is atrocious. So unless some real changes are made, it's not going to be going well for him.
That's true.
Well, I think there's a lot of great points made there, gentlemen, but I'm going to have to agree with Jalen on that one. While I think it's very probable Lenoris declares for the NFL, I don't think he has developed enough and would be rushing his career if he decides to do so. That's all the college football talk we have for you today, but we're going to keep you right here for this week's edition of $7 Dogs. Emma, throw up the title card real quick while I make a tie change. I had to throw on the baseball tie because it's a very special edition of $7 Dogs. Today, we will be talking about the 2025 World Series champion, Los Angeles Dodgers. After going down 3-2, the Dodgers climbed their way back and won the World Series in Game 7. And while there is no denying the Dodgers are a great team, I think what needs to be talked about is how many times the Blue Jays could have won it all, but blew their opportunity to. First, let's take a quick look at the ending to Game 6. The Dodgers led 3-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Blue Jays left 2 men stranded. But the 9th inning is when the Blue Jays really made some noise. The Jays got the leadoff man on after Alejandro Kirk was hit by a pitch. Immediately following was the most controversial play in the World Series. Addison Barger sent a ball into left center field that looked like it would get Barger to at least second base. However, you can see Justin Dean waving his hands for a dead ball as the ball slightly tucked itself under the outfield padding. And while it may make a lot of fans mad, This is just incredible ball knowledge from Dean, understanding the rules enough to save a run. But the Blue Jays still had 2 men on with no outs, a home run away from winning the World Series. But after an infield pop-up, Andre Jimenez lines a ball out into left field and Kike Hernandez makes an incredible play to turn 2 at second. If the Blue Jays could have capitalized with runners in scoring position in the 8th or 9th, maybe they would have won that game. But hey, they were still alive and had a Game 7 the following night. It was a Game 7 they looked like they were going to win, too. Toronto led 4-3 in the top of the 9th with 1 out, 2 outs away from winning the World Series, and Jeff Hoffman gives up a home run to Miguel Rojas in a full count to tie the game. Then in the bottom of the 9th, the Blue Jays load the bases with 1 out, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is literally inches away from winning the World Series. Some people say he should have had a bigger lead at third. Some say it was a nice defensive play. I'll let you be the judge. And then right after, Clement sends a fly ball deep into left center field, and Pages makes just an incredible catch that saved the game. Will Smith would go on to hit a home run in the 11th inning, and the Dodgers turned 2 to win their 2nd straight championship. Some of it's bad luck, some of it's poor execution, but the Blue Jays had plenty of opportunities in the final innings of Game 6 and Game 7 to close it out and just couldn't get it done. Congratulations to the Dodgers on another ring, and next week I'll take you on a deep dive why the Dodgers winning the World Series might result in a cancellation of the 2027 MLB season. We'll see you next time on $7 Dogs. All right, I'm sure you're all sick of me, so I'm going to toss it over to Austin McConnell to talk some hockey with you.
Welcome to the Top Line, the student section's hockey segment. If you don't know anything about hockey, look no further. During the entire 2025-26 season, I will be ranking teams, players, plays, and so much more. We are a few weeks into the season and have a pretty decent sample size, but what I'm ranking today are the 5 teams that have shocked me, good or bad. So without further ado, let's jump right into who's sitting at number 5. At number 5, I have the Florida Panthers. I'm a little shocked the back-to-back champs have started the season 6-6-1, but I'm also not entirely flabbergasted due to the amount of injuries, including ones of Captain Alexander Barkov and Assistant Captain Matthew Tkachuk. I feel like they will pick it up soon, but having their top 2 players injured will delay that comeback just a little bit. Coming in at number 4 is, unfortunately, my Washington Capitals. The Caps won the Metropolitan Division last year and made it out of the first round for the first time since winning their Stanley Cup back in 2018. However, they currently sit in last place in their division and have a 6-5-1 record. Not many roster changes from the Caps this offseason, so this slow start is a little surprising. Breaking into the top 3 now, I have the Pittsburgh Penguins. It's been a rough couple of years for the Pens, but they currently sit tied for first in the Metropolitan Division. They lost a couple bottom 6 forwards, but still have the all-star talent in Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. And they have turned things around as quick as an angry father on a family road trip. For the top 2 most shocking teams, let's move over to the Western Conference. Sitting at number 2, I have the Utah Mammoth. In their inaugural season as the Mammoth, they have climbed to the top of the Central Division standings. They weren't too far out of playoff contention last year, but I didn't see too many offseason acquisitions that have turned them into elite playoff contenders. It's still early, but we'll keep a close eye on them. And finally, the most surprising team for me so far this season, the Anaheim Ducks. After getting rid of Trevor Zegras, a young talent they wanted to have around for a while, they brought in veterans Mikael Granlund and Chris Kreider. I loved the additions, but I didn't think it would work out this well, this quickly. That's all I've got from the ice this week. Let's send it over to Zander Collins for some top bins.
Hello everyone and welcome to Top Bins, the student section's premier soccer segment. I'm Zander Collins and today we're going to do something a little crazy and combine both types of football, European and American. I'm going to pick a Premier League player for each of the NFL's end of seasons award. We'll start with MVP. By the very definition of this award, Manchester City's Erling Haaland will take it home. His 13 goals are keeping Manchester City in the title race, and without them, they would have just 8 scores. Not only is he the most valuable player in terms of price tag, but he also takes home this award from the student section. The winner of the Offensive Player of the Year in the 10 match days we've seen so far is Antoine Semenyo from Bournemouth. He has 6 goals and 3 assists for the Flying Bournemouth side, who currently sit 5th in the table. He has been a joy to watch on the wing for the Cherries and is one of the most sought-out talents in Europe right now. We'll move on to the other side of the pitch now for the Defensive Player of the Year. And the winner of the Defensive Player of the Year is Gabriel from Arsenal. Arsenal have only conceded 3 goals in the league play this season, and the defense record speaks for itself. Gabriel has also been able to grab a goal and 2 assists for the Gunners while playing every minute of the campaign. We'll go on to the Gaffer of the Year or Coach of the Year, and that has got to be Sunderland's gaffer, Régis Le Bris. He has taken the league by storm after bringing the Black Cats back up to the top flight. They have been the most surprising team in Europe this season. Many pundits and experts had them finishing in the relegation zone after losing players like Joe Bellingham, but they currently sit 4th and are pushing for Europe. Truly an incredible story. Shout out to Sunderland for bringing back the long throw, too. For Rookie of the Year, many people at the beginning of the season would have expected that Liverpool's summer acquisitions would be in this conversation, and they probably would have thought that it would be Florian Wirtz or even Alexander Isak. And unfortunately for the Cop, they would be wrong. The Liverpool player who will take home the Rookie of the Year award is Hugo Ekitike. He has provided some great moments in a Liverpool shirt thus far and has fit right into their front line. Our last award of the night will be Comeback Player of the Year, and this is another great story. The winner of this award is Granit Xhaka from Sunderland. He is aging like fine wine, and after a spell in Leverkusen where he was able to go invincible under Xabi Alonso, he arrives back in the Prem and is playing his best football. Sunderland, like we know, sit 4th, and it is all thanks to the man running the show in midfield. He took a chance on a newly promoted side, and it has paid off. After being the topic of a lot of difficult discussions during his tenure at Arsenal, he is back to his best at 33 years old. That'll do it for this segment this week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Zander Collins, and I will see you back on the pitch next week for another episode of Top Bins. I'm going to throw it over now to Calvin and Jalen for the 2-minute drill.
Welcome back to the 2-minute drill. I am Jalen Long, joined by my friend, Calvin DeLude. As we head into Week 10 of the NFL season, Calvin and me are going to give you guys our Super Bowl favorites. Cal, who's your pick for the AFC?
Well, Jalen, it's a weird year for the AFC with the Colts, Patriots, and Broncos all having better seasons than I think a lot of us expected, while teams like the Chiefs and Bills are struggling. But I'm going to have to go with the current leader of the pack and say the Indianapolis Colts. I would have said someone different a week ago, but I think the addition of Sauce Gardner at the trade deadline is going to give that defense an identity it's currently missing. And many want to speak poorly of Danny Dimes after this off week, but I think it was exactly that, an off week. He's shown us he can ball out this year, and I think he'll get back to it. Now, Jalen, I must ask you, who do you think the Colts will be facing in this year's Super Bowl?
My pick to make the Super Bowl out of the NFC is the Los Angeles Rams. Matthew Stafford is playing out of his mind. Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams are absolutely unguardable. Kyron Williams and Blake Corum are an underrated running back tandem. On defense, their pass rush is special with Jared Verse, Byron Young, Kobe Turner, and Braden Fisk. Their secondary is a little bit shaky, but they recently added Roger McCreary, who's a sneaky good pickup. An elite pass rush can overcome bad secondary. I trust Sean McVay to lead his squad to NOLA.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, Jalen. It pains me as a Seahawks fan to say that, but the Rams are really good this year.
Our game of the week is the Philadelphia Eagles on the road to Lambeau to take on the Green Bay Packers. Philly was able to put up 38 points this past week without A.J. Brown. Sitting at 6-2, the team recently added Jair Alexander, Jalen Phillips, and Michael Carter via trade. Give me the Eagles by at least a touchdown. Who have you got, Cal?
I'm going to have to take the Packers here, Jalen. You know I love to disagree with you, but I actually do this time, Jalen. The Eagles haven't been playing very impressive as of late, and while the Packers haven't either, especially after a tough loss to Carolina, I think Jordan Love is playing at an MVP level, and they'll bounce back with a big win against the Eagles. That's all the football talk we have for you tonight, but don't worry, because our next segment is a fun one, so stay tuned. All right, we got a really fun one for you today, folks. We're playing a game called Fact or Fiction. I'm going to read a sentence, and they're going to guess if it's fact or fiction. Starting off, in Finland, wife-carrying races exist. The prize is the wife's weight in beer. Fact or fiction?
Wait, the wife is carrying what?
Like, they are carrying the wife.
I just want to start by saying that is one heck of a prize. I would submit my entry for that every time. That sounds awesome.
Wait, so the men are carrying the wives?
Or is the
men-
wife carrying the baby?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking at first when I heard it.
Can we get a confirmation there, Calvin?
Who can birth fastest?
I didn't make this game.
I guess we
So
have got to
just throw your guesses out
Yeah, I
there,
guess we
boys.
got to give an answer. I feel like that's too specific not to be real.
Nah, that's
Finland?
fiction. That's fiction.
Or maybe the
Whatever.
trick is that it's not beer, it's like cheese or something.
Exactly. It's fiction.
I'm going to say fact, though. I'm going to go with my gut.
I am also gonna go with my gut. I think I'm gonna go fact. Yeah.
Well, if you're Jalen, you're wrong because it is a fact. 200 plus couples racing this every year. Pretty crazy.
Wow.
All right, next up, fact or fiction number 2.
I have some.
In Norway, they hold annual reindeer racing where competitors ride reindeer in full Viking armor. Fact or fiction?
That's in Norway. That is 100% fact.
No, that's wrong. I know what's wrong about this. They do this in the North Pole.
Ah, W ball knowledge. Yep. That's
This is fake.
Fiction.
Fact.
Like, I don't want to award Zander for that because that joke was really bad, but it is fiction, so no points for Austin.
Yes.
Fact number 3, now I'm in a bad mood. There's a world championship for the wrestling competitors there's a world championship for toe wrestling competitors who paint their toenails for intimidation. Fact or fiction?
This
Wait,
is
did
real.
you say Caleb Williams partakes in this? Wait, but I'm gonna say this is a.
Oh, wait.
This is a fact. Yeah, this is actually a fact.
I actually participated in this back in 2009, so I know this.
I remember seeing you in that video on Vine.
Yeah, on Vine. What do you think, Austin?
I'm going fact. I can't.
It's a fact.
Yes!
It's held in England, and competitors lock toes and try to force their opponent's foot to the side. The image is unfortunately taking up my mind right now.
What's the prize?
I feel like I need to take a shower. I feel dirty thinking about it. All right, number 4. Extreme ironing exists. People iron clothes while skydiving, surfing, or mountain climbing. Fact or fiction?
I'm pretty sure I've seen an actual video on this. Not on Vine, but on like Instagram or something like that. I think I'm right about this. I'm gonna go fact again.
No, wait. I remember reposting something about this on Tumblr.
Yeah. On what?
Tumblr?
Oh.
It was on my page for a while, and then it didn't do so good on Reddit. But I think it's real because I remember getting a lot of likes.
I'm gonna go with fact too. I like the iron.
Well, it is indeed a fact. I put it on my MySpace page. I don't know if you guys checked that, but it started in 1997 in England. All right, now we're at number 5. There is a professional sport where people try to juggle chainsaws while running a marathon. In case running a marathon wasn't hard enough already. Fact or fiction?
This is not real. This is not real. There is no way on this earth that is real. Fiction.
I don't know what committee would oversee that, but I don't think they'd be allowing that just like on the streets somewhere. So I'm agree with Jalen. I'm gonna go fiction.
I don't know. They've done crazier in England, as we've learned tonight,
As we
gentlemen.
found out, yeah.
But
Is this in England too?
well, we don't know that yet.
Oh.
I'm just saying there is crazier stuff that happens. As much as it pains me to agree with you guys, I just can't stand you one bit. I'm gonna say it's fake as well.
Yeah, no, it's fake. This sounds like stupidly illegal and like, a lot of deaths. So we're gonna, that's fake. And now to our final fact or fiction. In Ireland, there is a competitive sheep herding league. Winners get a trophy shaped like a giant sheep head. Fact or fiction?
Ooh, spooky. Nah, I'm just messing with you. Nah, that's real. That's real. I've seen that before. I was at one of those.
Well, after Jalen's expert analysis, it's hard for me not to agree with him. I think Ireland does do that. I'm gonna go fact.
What else do they have to do in Ireland, seriously? Drink beer, herd sheep? This is real, 100%.
Well, if you want to know what they do in Ireland, you can just ask Jalen wearing that suit. But it is a fact. So I wasn't keeping score. I think Zander won.
I didn't get one wrong.
If you guys at home, congratulations whoever won. And I'm sorry that you had to play this game. That was really fun. Emma, thank you so much. And now a quick word from our sponsors before we close up the show. So unfortunately, I forgot we don't have any sponsors, but we are looking for some, so hit us up. That wraps up our show for tonight. Thanks for tuning in to the Student Section Sports Show on SGTV. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at SGTV at USC. To keep up with all our content, be sure to also visit us online at sgtv@usc.com. Alongside Jalen Long, I'm Calvin DeLude, that's Austin McConnell, that's Zander Collins, and we will see you here next week on
The Student Section.